Let's assume you have an average B2B database, which, according to Serious Decisions, means it's loaded with duplicates and unusable records due to missing, unstandardized, and inaccurate data. And as a result, your business is losing revenue. But now, we are going to fix it with you. RingLead Cleanse is able to automate data cleaning and data update tasks in your Salesforce and marketing automation platform to increase the percent of usable records in your database and turn your average database into a strong database. Here's how we would get started. The first step is to run a normalization task to implement a unified naming convention across the key fields in your Salesforce. This ensures that your Salesforce dialer tools, routing workflows, segmentation, and other automation tools operate effectively. The RingLead platform makes it really easy to structure the perfect naming conventions across your Salesforce fields, and it allows you to schedule these tasks to occur on a regular basis. Now we can move on to step 2, where we are going to do an object-to-object and cross-object deduplication across all of our leads, contacts, accounts, and custom objects. When we set up our deduplication task, after we choose the objects that we want to deduplicate and choose what portion of our database we are going to dedupe, we get into the matching rules section. To ensure that we find and remove all types of duplicates, we are going to set up a very robust set of matching criteria using RingLead's and/or matching logic. Meaning, the matching rules we just set up identify a group of duplicate records if they have the exact same email address, or if they have the same first name, last name, and company, or if they have the same first name, last name, and website, or if they have the same first name, last name, and headquarter address, or if they have the same first name, last name, and Facebook URL, and so forth. You can set up as many or as little matching condition sets as you'd like. Also, RingLead allows you to use 55 customizable matchers to customize how fields are identified as a match. This condition right here utilizes one of RingLead's matchers to match duplicate groups on first name, last name, and email domain by using an extract domain matcher on the email field. And we also set up loose matchers here to identify and match first name fields like Steve and Steven, and company fields like RingLead Inc. and RingLead Incorporated. Additionally, in our matching condition set that utilizes the phone number fields to identify and match duplicate lead records that have changed companies, we are using a link with field matcher to match the phone field with, let's say, the home or mobile phone field to identify a duplicate lead by first name, last name, and phone number. The rationale behind this condition set here is that people change companies more often than they do their phone number. We also used a link with field matcher here to link the domain in the email field to the domain in the website field, which is a very powerful matching condition, especially when you're linking leads to accounts. You have the ability to use matchers and make matching conditions as strict as you'd like. For example, let's say we're doing a lead to account linking or account to account deduplication task. If the company name field alone doesn't suffice for matching account records, you can set your conditions to only identify duplicate accounts if they have the same company name and have the same headquarter address. Because Joe's Computers in Texas is not the same as Joe's Computers in Connecticut. Anyway, after we set up our matching rules, we'll set up the rules that tells Cleanse how to merge the values from the matched duplicate groups into a final record. And RingLead provides plentiful options here, so we can easily paint the perfect picture of the final record in accordance to your organization's needs. For example, because tracking first touch attribution is extremely important to your marketing department, we can set the master record to the oldest record so we have the original lead source in the final record. By setting the oldest record to the master record, all of the values, except for the blank field values, will be taken from the oldest record into the master record. However, in our surviving field value rules, we are going to make exceptions to the master record rule, meaning we can tell Cleanse to take the contact information from the last modified and newest record because the newest contact information is likely the most up-to-date and accurate. And for fields like lead score, which are split on these duplicate leads, we can tell Cleanse to add or take the average of the lead score values instead of only choosing one value to merge into the final record. This way, you don't miss out on any marketing qualified leads due to duplicate data. Anyway, after we finish setting up the surviving field value rules to your use case, we'll make sure to archive certain field values that don't get merged into the final record into a text field for safekeeping. Then, in the final step, we will run a review of your deduplication task so we can review and make modifications to how each duplicate group is merged in the resolution screen or in a CSV file. And then, once we ensure that your deduplication task is configured exactly how you'd like it to be, we'll use the scheduler to automate your lead-to-lead deduplication task to process on a recurring basis. And one more thing. On your lead-to-account linking and lead-to-contact conversion tasks, we'll set up a filter that ensures that all of your leads associated with prospect accounts are linked to the associated account, and that all of your leads associated with your customer accounts are converted to contacts within the account. This ensures that your marketing and sales team are not treating prospects and customers the same way, which would result in lost leads and lost customers. Now that I've finished with the deduplication aspect of my database cleanup, we'll use mass update and mass delete just to make some final cleanups to your database and data operations processes. Mass update allows you to make global changes and modifications to any standard or custom object or field in your Salesforce. And with mass update, you don't have to get around your CRM's native mass update limit of 250 records by downloading data to a spreadsheet and then re-uploading with Data Loader. Also, we can use filters so that you have full customization over the subset of records you are updating. In this mass update task, we are transferring leads owned by inactive users, so we are filtering our task to only update contacts where the lead owner is inactive. Mass delete allows you to bypass Salesforce's native mass delete limit of 250 objects, so you can delete any set or subset of Salesforce fields or objects at once according to the criteria that you set up. This allows us to save money on your data storage cost in your Salesforce or marketing automation platform. And you can filter your mass delete task to any subset of records. In this mass delete task, we filtered our mass delete to email messages older than 2 years, which in many cases frees up a lot of storage space. Also, for up to 15 days, you have the option to undelete any set of files, records, or fields deleted in a mass delete task. After mass deleting all the junk files from your Salesforce, we have officially completed the final step of your first database cleanse. And as a result of normalizing, deduplicating, lead-to-account linking, updating, and deleting bad data, we have transformed your Salesforce from an average database into a strong database. And just as the Serious Decisions study points out, you are generating more leads, converting more leads, renewing more customers, and generating more revenue for your business. To cleanse your database today, you can sign up for a free trial by finding us on RingLead.com. Or you can find us on the Salesforce App Exchange or give us a call to talk to a data specialist.